All right, so let's jump right into it. So I am not here to tell people whether they should use the N word or should they not use the N word. What I am here to do is just bring in some proper information and education about the N word and where it originally actually came from and how it evolved over time in history. So before I get into it, quick disclosure: I was born outside the USA. I lived in two continents, and when I had experiences abroad, I did not hear that word so frequently. Yes, there's racism all over the world, but it's not like the norm where I go out and somebody greets me as a slang, if you will, or say, hey, what's up, my N-word? People would just call me by my first legal government name. Simple as that. So the only time I really heard that word a lot overseas was more from movies, depictions, or TV shows that use it, and 100% of the time it was used in a negative, condemning way. So let's take a look at where it originally came from, and let's jump into it. Okay, so as you can see, the word is not even spelt the same, nor does it even mean the same. It's actually spelled Negus. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it's an ancient Semitic Ethiopian word, and it was pretty much used primarily towards people of a high status who was the ruler of a kingdom. So you pretty much had to be a king, and other kings would greet each other in that way. So it wasn't just used as a slang like it is today. So why did it transition into that? Let's check it out. Now, on the contrary to many people's belief, a lot of people will attribute this word to rap music. However, the word actually has a colder past and goes back hundreds of years before rap music was even a thing in America. So as most people know, slavery was when that word was used, and it was not the Negus that we just saw. It was actually the Nigga or Nigger. So for those people trying to distinguish the difference between those two, there was no fundamental difference between those two. They were both equally derogatory and condemning to the slaves. Now, based on the research that I've done from people in the Southeast who have generations of people living here, including some people in my own family, I asked them, hey, why did this word evolve from being a king to what it is today? And the reality is most of them didn't even know that word meant another ruler or a king because they don't come from Ethiopia. So when it was used here, it was pretty much used from slaves calling each other that, mocking the slave master, not in a greeting way, but more in a mockery way as a joke. So there's two groups of people that I want to address quickly. The first group is the people that say it's just a word, it doesn't mean anything. Well, if that's the case, would you just let anyone call your mother the B word? Just as an example, that's just a word, right? If you don't have that same energy across the board and you're valuing one situation over another, then it kind of is hard to, defend you not caring or caring about using that word. The second group of people is the ones who say, hey, I only use this word around my peers. I don't mean any harm. So my question to you is, if you're in that category, do you feel that you as an African diaspora person allowing all your peers who are non-African diaspora people to use that word in slang or greeting and not in an offensive way, is the energy reciprocated? Can you go to your Jewish, Irish, Italian, or Mexican or Asian friends and call them in their slang words and get accepted?